So today I'll be remove the old caliper to put a new one, and all the tools that I need is right here. So it's a ratchet. It's a you don't really need two ratchet, but I prefer using two so I don't have to remove the bolt, the size that I want. I can keep it together. So I'll use the impact to remove the tire, and then I'll use the rest for the caliper bolts here and here. So that's all the tools that I need today. Also use NTCs so I can put to my brake pads. All right, but I also have other tools so I can use. But for these tools, I'm gonna show you how to make a brake bleeder and by yourself, so you don't have to buy one for $15 or more. So you only need a drill, a bottle, and then airline tubing. So today we're gonna change the old caliper. We're gonna put back a new one. That's the new one right here, and that's the old one. So that's for a Kia Forte. If you have a Kia Forte 2011, I think it's 2011 to 2014, it's about the same thing to do. So I'll be showing you how to remove the caliper and how to put the new one. Okay, so before you remove the whole caliper, you need to unscrew this bolt here. So actually this one, it's the bolt that attach to the brake line here. So as soon as I remove this bolt, it will be brake fluid that will be dripping. So what I'll do, I'll just unloose it, and then after I'll do that part at the end. So when I remove this screw, I'll put right back the new one. I'll just transfer actually the hose here with this one here. Okay, so as soon you remove the screw here, the oil will drip, and because of the gravity, the oil come all the way to the front, and then it drip to the line and goes to inside of the caliper. I forgot the name, sorry. So as soon as I remove the screw, I'll put back the hose to attach with the new caliper, so I don't waste any oil. All right, so now I unloose the screw. As soon as I unloosed it, as you can see, there's oil coming out. Actually, you can see the first drop on the floor, but make sure that this oil doesn't touch the paint, because it will damage it. So the brake fluid it's rough oil, so make sure it doesn't touch any rubber or any part of the car you don't want to damage. All right, so now I'm gonna remove the two screws for the caliper. The upper one and the bottom one is all the way back in here. As you can see it here, it's this bolt. So there's two bolts to unscrew. It's this and the upper one right here. So I'm gonna remove that. As soon as I remove it, the caliper will be loose to the rotor. As you can see, the rotor is brand new, as well as the pads. So now I'm just gonna remove the caliper, or I reuse the brake pads. So now I remove the caliper from the brake rotors. So I put it right here because it's still attached with the hose. Just make sure the hose line is not broken, or else you're gonna have to change the line. But so I'll just let it sit here for a second, so I can, what I'll do, I'll prepare this caliper so I can make it sit right here. So as soon I put it there, and I can unhook the brake line to the cylinder, so I can attach it fast, because if I don't do it fast, the oil will drip from the cylinder. So it's the bolt that's right here. As soon as I remove that bolt, it will start dripping. So I need to transfer it fast to the new one here. So to put back the new caliper, I'll be using the same screw for from the old one, because it doesn't come with bolts here. So I'll be using the same one. So what I'll do, after I clean this, I'm gonna put some anti-seize. So for next time I remove it, it'll be easier. All right. So what I did, I sprayed the new one with a brake cleaner. In French, it's called nettoyeur à frein, EPS. So now I remove all the grease, and then I'll put back the clip for the brake pads. All right, but before that, I'll be putting some anti-seize there. All right, putting the caliper. So like I said, I use the old one because it doesn't come with any new bolts. So I'm putting the old one to this one here, to the new caliper. Okay, so now I'm gonna put some anti-seize to this bolt. It's from the caliper, it's holding the caliper to the caliper bracket. Actually, this is the caliper and this is the bracket. So there's two bolts holding it to the caliper, this one and this one. So now I'm gonna remove them and put some anti-seize on the threads here. For the next time, it'll be easier for me to remove. All right. Okay. So this is the anti-seize. I only have one hand to hold. I don't know if you can see it. Good. So this is this one here. So I'll just put a little bit on the threads. Okay, like that. And then put it back in. Actually, I'm gonna remove them because I'm gonna put the brake pads first. So that's the caliper and the caliper bracket. So it was attached right here, but I remove it so I can put the pads and everything first. So now I'm gonna put some NTCs and here. So for the next time, usually you can put it before you put your caliper bracket to the rotor, but because I've done it before, so I put it like that. Okay, and then you put it like that. I found it pretty loose, so what I'll do, it comes with a new pair, so I'll be using this. So I put the first one, now I'm putting the second one like that, just like that. So I'm gonna put a little bit of NTCs to this bottle right here, to the tip of this. Like that. I don't know if you see it. Make sure it's all the way in. So now, because the caliper is brand new, you can see the movement. It could move back and forth, but with the old one, it sees. This one is packed with oil, so it helps it shift. Understand? So the caliper is brand new, so it should move like that. That's normal. But I make sure I tight the bracket to the caliper, on both sides. So there's two bolts, 1 and 2. All right. So the next part is to remove the cable. I'll show you two better. Is to remove this cable, this one here, that's attached with a bolt here, and to put it to the new one that goes that hole, in that hole here. But I have a new screw and 2 washer, so I'll put one in the back, one all the way to the bottom of the hole, and then one on the top of the head of the screw of the bolt. Okay, so because I have only 2 hands and I'm working alone, so I won't show it to you while I'm doing it, so I'll just do it and show it to you at the end. Okay, so now I'm all prepared to remove the bolt and the line, and to transfer it to the new caliper. Like I said, in that hole, there's a hole behind the caliper right there. It's dark, you cannot see it, but it's right there. I'm gonna remove the bolt, the old one, and then put the new one with the line there. So as soon as I remove it, it will start dripping oil, so I don't want to lose a lot of oil. even though I have a new bottle. So that's the line that I've removed it from the old caliper. There's still oil in there. Make sure the oil doesn't goes to paint. It will damage your paint. So now I just finished to attach the hose to the new caliper. As you can see on the floor, I lost a little bit of oil. So when you remove the bolts here, the bolt here, you have to make sure you put it as fast as you can, so you lose less brake fluid. So now, like you can see on the floor. So now I finish with the. I'll make sure my bolt it's tight enough, but not too tight. Make sure you don't tight this too much. And the two small bolts from the bracket, and actually from the last one, I broke it. So that's one other reason that I've changed the caliper. It was old already, but I didn't want to change it in the beginning. But because I broke the bolt in here, I had to change. I could have tried to find a way to remove the broken one, but less time, just buy a new one. So make sure you don't tight this. And I think it says it's 10 pound. You should tight this, and I think it's almost the same for this one, but you can double check with in the manual. But now I'm gonna make sure this one with the bracket to the rotor, it's all put tight enough. There's two, there's one, and the bottom one, it's right there. I don't know if you can see it. Right there. Yeah. So now, after that, I'm gonna, because I've lost some oil, I'm gonna show you how to make a bleeder, so you can make the brake bleed. So the cylinder, because it's a new one right now, there's not much oil in there, so I'm gonna pump the brake. But before, I'm gonna show you how to make a bleeder, so you can put on top of this and just to make it bleed a little bit, and then add some fluid to the front of the car under the hood. All right, so to do a bleeder, you will need a drill. This is a electric one. You need a bottle. You need some tubing. You need some glue. I can't find the glue gun now, but I found a way to melt this to the bottle, so it can hold this with the bottle cap. All right, I'll show it to you. First, I'm gonna drink that water because I'm thirsty, but I'm gonna use the bottle. So I've done my bleeder. As you can see, I make a hole on the bottom, on the top, the head, the cap, and then I cut a piece, and then I'm gonna put the other piece right there. So, and then after, I'm gonna pump the brake, and then if I see it's dripping, that's mean the cylinder have oil. And then, but I'll make sure there's no air. So yeah, I'll show you later. So now, as you can see, the oil start coming out. I'm gonna pump it again, and then make sure there's no bubbles, and then I'll add more oil fluid. Now, as you can see, the line, it's lower than the full. The full line is right above there with this line, but I'm gonna add some more. Okay, and then I'm gonna pump the brake. So now I'm gonna pump the brake. I'm gonna check my bleeder. As you can see, there's this air, there's bubbles. So I'll keep pressing until I can see a straight line without bubbles. Okay, see, there's no bubbles, so I can close that valve. There's no bubbles, so after I close this, so yeah, so I close it. So I made that bleeder. You don't need to buy a new one or whatever. So since you are a one-man job, you're alone, so you just put the bleeder, pump the gas, and pump the brake, and then make sure there's no bubbles going out. And when you don't see bubbles, you just close it, and that's it. So now, since I'm finished, I'm gonna give everything a quick spray of brake cleaning and brake nettoyage à frein, or brake cleaner, and then wipe it down. Yeah, like that. Okay, I'm gonna give it more. There's one thing I forgot to mention. You know, when you remove your line for the brake from the old one and you put it to the new one, to the new caliper, make sure that there's a latch, there's a, as you can see, you have to put it between this. I'll show it to you on the old one. In the old one, there's a hole between those, that the line goes there. Make sure and you put it the right side on the other, on the new one there. Okay, make sure it's between together like that, as you can see. All right, that's it. So now I finish. I'm gonna top up the brake fluid. Make sure it's the .3 brake fluid, and then after this I'm gonna put back the tires, and then you all set. So if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. Have a nice day.